Hello guys, so I hope everyone's feeling well after the session yesterday, and today we have a general stretch. So it's probably going to be, well, I would think maybe the easiest session of the week, although obviously yesterday was like an introductory session. So we're just going to run through basically a general full body stretch, and yeah, so you should feel relatively relaxed at the end of it. Some stretches might be quite challenging for you, but it's mainly passive stretching. So let's start. So standing up, feet should be shoulder width apart, and we're just going to bring the head to one side and to the other side, and looking up to the ceiling, and head down to the ground, and we're going to shrug the shoulders back. So bring the shoulders all the way up and just circling round, and then bring the shoulders forwards, and then we're going to move into an arm swing, so reaching the arms all the way up and circling them back. And then circling the arms forwards. And the slightly tricky one, we're going to do windmills, so one arm going one way, one arm the other way. And then changing direction. So only one direction you can do, one which is slightly more difficult. And we're just going to get into some hip circles, so little circles to begin with, then gradually getting bigger, pushing the hips all the way forwards, all the way back, all the way forwards, and then changing directions, little circles. Getting bigger with the circles. That's it. Good. And we're going to bring the arms out to the side. And then we're just going to go over to one side, making sure you're staying in a straight line with the body, not bring the hips forwards or backwards. So we should be lateral with the movement. Just holding. Each stretch will be held for about 10-15 seconds, maximum 30 seconds. And then we're going to reach the arm to the wall in front of us, straightening the flat back. Again, you want to make sure the legs are staying straight in this position, straight as you can, reaching the hand to the wall in front of you. Then we're going to bring the hands down either side of the leg, chest is coming flat to the leg if you can. Again, trying to keep the legs straight. Just let gravity pull you down to the ground. And reaching the hands through the middle. Again, trying to reach the hands as far as you can behind you and keeping the legs pushed straight. The weight should be through the front of the feet in this position. Then we're going to come over to the other foot, legs straight, chest down to the front leg. And we're reaching the hand to the wall in front of us, flapping down the back. And then reaching the arms out to the side, and we're reaching over. So we're going to stay on this side, we're just going to do 10 little pulses. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then bring the arm off and hold. 3, 2, 1, and coming up, and we're just going to do the pulse on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and bring the arm up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reaching up to the ceiling. So we're bringing both feet together, and then we're going to bring the hands to the legs, start to lower down, walk the hands down the legs, bring the chest in towards the legs, and then bring the head in to the legs, and we're holding a pike fold. Again, the weight should be for the front of the toes, the legs should be as straight as possible, and you're letting gravity pull you down to the ground. So deep breaths in this position, breathing in and out. Try and relax into the position. And for 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, and we're going to slowly walk the hands up the legs, bring all the way to the ceiling, deep breath in at the top, and we're going to do the same again, bring the arms around, walking the hands down the legs, all the way down to the ground, pulling the chest in towards the ankles, keeping the weight for the front of the toes, and we're just going to hold for another 20 seconds. And 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So you're dropping down to the knees. We're going to go into our wrist rocks that we did yesterday. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So even though we're not doing handstands today, it's good to make sure that the wrists are nice and mobile. So hands are facing forwards to begin with, we're rocking forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards, forwards. Let's just rock onto the knuckles, so onto the top of the hands and backwards. Just 3 rocks there. We don't need to do too much warming up the wrists today because we're not doing handstands. And then we're swapping direction of the hands to the side, and again we're going from one side over to the other side. Nice gentle rocks, nothing too rapid, nothing too quick. And then we're going to turn the hands to face us, and again we're just rocking backwards, the hands, trying to keep the heel of the hands on the ground. And lastly, we're just going to lightly turn over the hands and very lightly pressing down, nothing too heavy. And relax, and we're going to sit back to our bottoms, bringing one leg in front of you, crossing the other foot over the knee, and we're just going to do some ankle circles. So in this position, make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Whenever we're in a position like this, engage the core sitting up straight. I always point my toe just because I'm from a gymnastic background, and I'm sure dancers probably do the same thing. And then changing direction with the ankle, so easy ankle circles. And let's change legs, so crossing the other leg over the knee and easy ankle circles on that foot. Then changing direction of the foot. And relax. So we're going to come into a straddle position next. Arms are coming out to the side. And we're just going to reach over to the leg. We're going to try and look up to the ceiling. Some of you guys might not be nearly as flexible as me at this point in time. Some of you might be. So if you're not, you might be more in this position. But again, you want to try and keep the movement sideways. Obviously I am flexible, so I can look up to the ceiling and get all the way down with my chest to my leg. And we're going to do 10 little bounces in this position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in straddle, reaching hands either side of the leg, bring the chest down to the leg and just holding this position. Again, I am quite flexible, so you might be more like this position, you might even be up here. It just depends on your current level of flexibility. But the aim is trying to get the chest flat to the leg, and we're holding for another 5, 3, 2, 1. We're staying low down to the ground. We're coming from the middle, keeping the chest low down to the ground, and then to the other foot. And again, chest flat to the leg if you can, or you might be more like this position. We're just going to hold this. And lastly, reaching the arms out to the side, and then crossing the arm across the body, trying to look up at the ceiling, and we should be aiming to be lateral sideways with the body to the ceiling. So you'll probably feel a nice stretch in your obliques here. And we're going to do 10 on little reaches. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reaching the arms up to the side, reaching the arms up to the ceiling. Legs should be about double the width of shoulder width, and then we're going to do our 10 lowers that we did yesterday. So again, we're hinging at the hip, trying to get as low down to the ground as possible. 2, keeping a nice straight back. 3, 4, this is not a rush, it's a slow controlled movement. 5, again, you might not be able to get all the way down, you might just be going to here, it might just be a tiny movement. 6, 7, keep it going. 8, arms should be straight, we may as well practice as if we're in our handstand position. 9, and we're going to do a hold, so as low as we can, hinging at the hip, keeping the back straight. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and this time we're going to lower all the way down to the ground, so the elbows flat down to the ground. Again, you might be all the way up here, that's absolutely fine if it's stretching, or you're all the way down to the ground if you're super bendy. And we're just going to hold this position. So you're just going to let gravity pull you down to the ground. You're going to relax in this position. Just going to hold it for about 30 seconds. And we just go for another 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reaching the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to do the same again with pike. So legs together, we're going to do our pike lowers. We're lowering down, keeping the back straight, we're hinging at the hip. You guys are going to get used to these after a while. They're going to become your new favourite exercise. 4, 5, so main focus was we're keeping that back straight. Doesn't matter how far you reach towards the legs, back straight, legs straight. 7, arms straight if you can. Look out as if you're in a handstand. We may as well get double practice here, flexibility and handstand practice. And last one, we're holding for 10. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all the way down, just holding this position. Again, I want you to really focus on pushing the knees down to the ground, the top of the legs, the quads down to the ground. We're pointing the toes. And we're looking up towards the feet. If you can, try and reach beyond the feet. Just relax into the position. You can feel it stretching behind the hamstrings. And we're going to stay in this position, flexing the feet up for a further 15 seconds. And 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reaching the arms up to the ceiling and relax. So next position we're going to come into is a pigeon position. So back hip is pushing down to the ground. We're at a right angle with the knee and the foot in front of the body. So hip push down to the ground, and then we're going to try and lower the chest down to the ground. So you should feel it stretching the outer glute and possibly the back hip flexor. So lowering the chest down to the ground. I find this a really nice relaxing position, even though I can feel the stretch in my outer glute. So holding for 20. Again, deep breaths in and out in this position, and hopefully by the end of the 20 seconds you're in a slightly deeper stretch than you were at the beginning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So coming out of that leg, and we're going to change to the other side. So foot in front of the body, at right angle with the knee. You might actually have the foot a little bit further in if you're not quite so flexible. Back hip is pushed down to the ground. Again, stretching the outer glute, and then you're lowering the chest down to the ground. We're holding for 30 seconds. And we're going for another 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, coming out of that position. We're going to lay on our back. Again, we're still going to stretch the glute, crossing one foot over the knee. Then we're bringing the front knee in towards the chest, and we're pushing with our hand the other knee, which is bent up, towards the wall in front of us. We're holding for 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and changing sides. So exactly the same with the other leg. So front knee in towards the chest. We're crossing this foot over the knee, and then we're pushing this knee towards the wall in front of us. And you'll probably feel it stretching the outer glute again. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. So we're just going to sit down again, sit cross-legged, sit with the legs in front of you if you prefer. We're going to stretch out the chest. So bring one arm across the chest, and it's as simple as that. So when we're doing lots of press-ups, it'd be important to stretch the chest out. And then the other arm. And relax, and we're going to stretch out the triceps. So pushing down the elbow. And then changing to the other side. And relax. So next we're going to come into our lunges ready for splits. So we're going to start off with the left leg in front of you. Again, hips should be facing forwards, legs shouldn't be going out to the side. Make sure the back leg's also staying in a straight line in front of you. So we're coming to our first lunge position. There should be a right angle with the knee and the foot on the floor. Back hip is pressed down to the ground, so you should feel it stretching the back hip flexor. If you can, try and rest the arms on the knee, chest up, engage the core. And this is the same in every exercise we do. Every stretch, you should be engaging the core. And we're going to come into a reverse lunge, so we're straightening the front leg, flexing the front foot, and then we're bringing the chest down towards the front leg. Again, just be worried that your back leg is not going round on a wonk. So you should feel the stretching behind the back knee, behind the hamstring. Then we're going to come back into a forwards lunge. This time we're actually going to try and lift the back leg off the ground. So we'll be able to intensify the stretch for the back hip flexor, bring the chest up, and still trying to push this back hip down to the ground. Can be a little bit tricky to balance in this session as well. And relax the back knee down. We're going to extend both legs, and we're going to bring the chest down towards the front leg. Again, we're further stretched behind the front leg. And we're actually going to stay on this leg and we're going to do our splits attempt. So hips are staying straight in forward position, and we're going to try and slide down as close to the ground as we can, making sure the hips are staying in a straight line. So obviously I can get down splits. If you're down splits, great, we're going to hold this position. If you're not, then that's fine, just hold where you can get to. I don't want you to push too hard. So if you're in this position, that's fine. Just make sure that you're staying in a straight line, back leg's not going round on a wonk. That's the #1 priority. If you're in a splits quite comfortably, we're going to hold for another 20 seconds. You can elevate the foot if this is easy. You can lean forwards. So a couple of varieties. And we're just going to hold for another 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax, coming out of this position. As I said, I will do some more advanced stretching, but this is a general stretch, so everyone should be able to follow along to some capacity. So we're going to do exactly the same with the other leg. First position into our first lunge, back hip pushed down to the ground, we're staying in a nice straight line. Arms are resting on the knee, chest is up. We're engaging the core in this position. And we're going to straighten the front leg, we're going to flex the front foot, and we're going to bring the chest down towards the front leg. We're stretching behind the hamstring. And we're going to come back into our forwards lunge. Again, arms are coming off the ground. This time our back knee is also off the ground. We're pushing the back hip down to the ground when the knee is staying off. And you should feel a bit more intense with the stretch of this one. And we've got the balance element going on as well. And we're not going to hold it for long, lowering the back knee down to the ground. We're extending both legs into our high reverse lunge. Chest is coming down towards the front leg, and we're just holding that position. Again, make sure the legs are staying as straight as you can. And relax. So coming out of that position, we're going to go straight back into our first lunge position, and then keeping the hips square, aiming to slide all the way down to the splits, and we're just going to hold. So again, you've got the option, you can elevate the foot if this is easy, you can go into a forwards split, again if normal splits is easy, or just hold that position while I'm demoing, or you can come up into obviously whatever splits positions or stage that you're at. So you might literally just be at like this forwards kind of first lunge position, and that's absolutely fine, because in the next, couple of weeks, months, you will progress. So we're just going to hold for another 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's come out of that position. So give the legs a little shake in front of you. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our prep for our box splits. Now, because again, I don't know the full ability of all you guys, and I might end up splitting these flexibility into like beginners and advanced, I'm just going to stick to fairly basic like middle splits type progressions, because I don't want to push it too much for you guys. And yeah, so let's just start off with a froggy position. This is when knees are up to the side, so they're staying in line with the hips, and some of you guys might be in like this position. You can try and rest the elbows on the ground. Some of you guys might be in a full frog, but you want to try and keep a right angle with the knee and the foot. So we're just going to hold for another 20 seconds. If you're a little bit higher up, you can do some gentle pulses to try and get your hips a little bit lower. So just 10 gentle pulses. And again, as we progress throughout the weeks, we will do more active flexibility. We will do like ballistic, pails, rails, stretching. But for now, we're just going to keep it very general so everyone can follow along. and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax, coming out of that position. Good. So we're not going to make it much longer today because it has gone on quite a long stretch. And yeah, as I said, we're building up progressively. It's reaching everyone. It's not just obviously beginners, intermediate, advanced. It is trying to reach everyone. So we're going to get into our side lunges. So this is a bit of a tricky one. You're trying to get the glute down to the ground, the knees coming out to the side, the leg is straight, and we're going to look a little bit like a ninja. So you might need to use your hands as a prop. We're going to go from one side to the other side. So let me see if I can make it a bit clearer what I'm doing. So starting off in this position, again, I am flexible, so you might be like this position, and you'll be going like this, trying to get as low down to the ground as you can. If you're super flexible like me, you'll probably be more like this, from one side to the other. And we're going to do 5 on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're going to hold in the middle. So we're aiming for a nice deep squat position. We're pushing the knees out with the hands or with the elbows, and we're just trying to sink the butt into the ground. Just holding this position. And we're going to do 10 little pulses. 2. So trying to get a little bit closer down to the ground. 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up and out of that position. And we're going to go into our box split position. So this is a slightly challenging one. Obviously it is quite advanced, people. So what I would do if you're not in proper box splits is I want you to do a half box split. So bending one leg, the other leg is straight, and you're getting to the point where you can feel a stretch, or you'll be that side. If you can do a full box split, then we're getting into position and we're coming all the way down to the ground and we're just holding. That's it. So just lowering the chest down to the ground. And if you're a little bit higher in a box split like that, then you need 10 little pulses getting closer down to the ground. So we're doing that, we're holding, and we've got 20 seconds. So if you're doing the one leg option, I want you to now swap, change over to the other leg. So if you're doing this, you're now changing to that leg. And we're just going to hold whatever position, progression you're in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming out of that position. Good. So again, if you need to, bring the legs in front of you, give them a little shake. We're almost there in today's session. The last thing we're going to do today, because it is a full body stretch, is we're going to do our back extensions, so our cobras. So starting laying your front, you're either going to do half cobra, so you're pressing up to your elbows, or if you've got a flexible back, pressing into a full cobra. So I want you to try and keep the legs together in this position and try and use the hands to press you back into more of a back stretch. Again, if you feel comfortable, you can push the head all the way back, or if you prefer to keep the head neutral, that's fine as well. And just holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming into a reverse. So bringing your bottom back to your feet, pushing the shoulders down to the ground. And we're coming into our hands and knees, and we're actually going to press back into downward dog position. So we're tucking the toes underneath, and then we're pushing the shoulders to the wall behind, the armpits to the wall behind us. And relax, we're dropping back down to the knees and then coming back onto the front, and we're going to repeat that again. So into a cobra, so either on the elbows, or if you can, pressing all the way back, try and keep the feet together, trying to bring the chest as far back as you can. And then sitting back on the heels, pushing the shoulders down to the ground. And then coming onto your hands and knees, we're tucking the toes underneath into our downward dog position. From here, we're walking the hands into the legs. And we're gonna bring the arms, the hands up the legs. We're rounding at the spine. We're gonna reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. We're gonna take a deep breath in at the top and out. And again, deep breath in at the top and out. And thank you so much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the session today. Please again leave comments below, because this week is all a bit about like trial and error to understand what level you guys are at and how, you know, we can best move forwards as a group. But awesome session. I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, as I said, this is week 1, so we will be progressing as the sessions go on. But yeah, well done. See you guys tomorrow.